Dear development professionals and engaged citizens, welcome to our first interview in our series of interviews with corporate social responsibility leaders of our country. We have fondly named this interview series as GRAAM Vocal, that is Voice of CSR Leaders. In this interview series, besides knowing the good work of the corporate organization, we would also try to get the perspectives of the leaders in strategizing, planning, implementing, monitoring, and understanding impacts of their CSR as well as sustaining their efforts. As you all are aware, Government of India passed a significant legislation in 2014. India is the first country in the world to make corporate social responsibility mandatory. Following an amendment to the Companies Act 2013 in April 24, this came into effect. Prior to that, the CSR clause was voluntary for the companies, though it was mandatory to disclose their CSR spending to the shareholders. Since last 6 years, CSR has been extensively discussed in our country. Some argued against the need for mandatory regulation and some favored it. Now we have all accepted it in a way. Personally, I feel that the CSR, which was only taken as an important subject by few companies, hardly finding space in the boardroom meeting agenda in most of the companies, has now come to the forefront. As the size of the fund is becoming significant, companies have started to think strategically and started discussing the results yielded by the CSR fund. Few companies CSR spend not just as an expenditure, but as an investment. We at GRAAM always try to position CSR with the 3C principles whenever we offer our consultation to our clients. That is, complementing resources, cohesive action, and converging efforts for meeting international and national development goals. The CSR Act has also resulted in incorporation of many corporate foundations, provided impetus to establishment of new social enterprises and not-for-profit organizations in our country, besides adding strength to the existing not-for-profit organization. We are interviewing one such corporate leader in this episode, and we really feel proud of having him as our guest today. And most of you in the sector know him very well. I welcome Mr. Nixon Joseph, the President and Chief Operating Officer of State Bank of India Foundation, the CSR arm of country's largest and biggest State Bank of India. The foundation is supporting various social development projects focusing on the underprivileged and the needy. I'm happy to introduce Mr. Nixon Joseph here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Basavaraju. Thank you.
Thank you. As a young man, he joined SBI in 1985 as a probationary officer. He has an extensive experience in various facets of banking like corporate credit, retail operations, international banking, and so on. He is a certified credit professional, certified banking compliance professional, and certified information systems banker. He was also a manager, operations, SBI Bahrain, and chief executive officer of SBI Tokyo branch. He was president of the Sakura Toastmasters Club, Tokyo, and also started the Tokyo Debating Society. He is popularly known as SBI's marathon legend. He has completed 42 full marathon, which covers 42 kilometers each, and the only public sector banker with such an achievement. We are happy to know that, sir. As coordinator, SBI Youth for India Fellowship Program, he is instrumental in inspiring and mentoring over 100 youth every year and has taken the fellowship to the higher level. And I have personally witnessed it as I had the privilege to be one of the chief guests in their graduation program. He has been mentoring many social entrepreneur units started by SBI Youth for India Fellows. Of course, he has got many awards and laurels honoring for his services, and some of them I'm happy to mention here today is the recipient of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award 2018 for Excellence in Public Service and Dr. Kalam Memorial Ignited Minds Award. His name figures in the Be the Inspiration book released by Rotary Club Mumbai, where 45 inspiring minds were listed. Awarded with the COVID-19 Warrior Award by CSR Times and India Achievers Forum for organizing various social initiatives during the pandemic times. We at GRAAM privileged to have Mr. Nixon Joseph today. We welcome Joseph Ji for the first talk show of GRAAM with CSR Leaders.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Nixon, as you know, SBI Foundation is having a strong footholds in 22 states in India and have visible impact in the community through multiple sectors such as education, livelihood and skill development, healthcare and sanitation, women empowerment, rural development and youth development and so on. No doubt, it takes a commitment, vision and a dedicated team. Please accept my hearty congratulations at the outset and appreciation for all the good works your team is doing in the country.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's an honor. Thank you very much.
I would request you to share the journey, how you have sailed through so far.
SBI Foundation is the CSR arm of State Bank of India, and it was started in 2015. But SBI was doing corporate social responsibility since 1973. That means many years before the Companies Act was amended and the CSR was made mandatory. In fact, I'm very proud to tell that giving back to society or CSR activities have been part of the corporate ethos of SBI. Even when I joined in 1985 onwards, we have been brought up in that culture of the bank taking care of the needy by way of philanthropic activities or innovative banking activities. In 2015, SBI thought of forming SBI Foundation so that CSR activities could be done in a project mode. The management of SBI thought that if SBI Foundation is started, it would give more focus to CSR activities and also sustainable development. So in 2015, SBI Foundation was formed, and since then we have been doing a lot of CSR activities all over India. Our flagship programs, the SBI Youth for India Fellowship, is known not only in India but all over the world. It's a platform provided for highly educated youth to connect with the rural aspirations and also resolve rural issues. We receive almost 12,000 applications from all over the world for the 100 fellowship posts. And I'm very proud that highly educated youth and those who live careers apply for this fellowship and bring into the development sector. Also to encourage social entrepreneurship. Proud to tell that after the fellowship is completed, more than 70% of the fellows continue to be in the development sector. Also a matter of pride that 65 to 70% of our fellows are girls. It inspires everyone that our young girls are willing and courageously ready to go to any remote part of India so that they can bring change. There are various successful stories which have come from this fellowship. I'll just narrate one of them, is that of a postgraduate in mechanical engineering from IIT Chennai who joined as an SBI Youth for India fellow, and he was during his fellowship in Dangs district, Gujarat, where he was involved with bamboo craftsmen. After the fellowship was over, he went back to the village and worked along with the bamboo craftsmen and started a social enterprise, giving livelihood opportunities to more than 5 bamboo craftsmen. There are many similar success stories where highly educated youths have come out with social enterprises, providing jobs to many others. Therefore, this fellowship we value so much because it is providing an opportunity for youths to give back to society. Our another flagship program is the SBI GRAAM Seva, which is holistic development of villages. SBI Foundation has adopted 50 villages in various parts of India, and we have been intervening in various areas: education, health, environment, then livelihood, empowerment of women, child nutrition, digitalization, all these areas in the villages by involving the community. In fact, it is a great example of participative development where we are trying to bring development in the villages by utilizing the resources already available in the village. It's a matter of great pride to tell that in all the 50 villages where our GRAAM Seva project has just completed 3 years, we find the community involved in decision making, in coming forth and telling that these are the developments we require, and the passion and interest they take in maintaining and sustaining the development activities we have brought under this project. we plan to adopt more villages under this project during the year. Our third flagship program is the SBI Center of Excellence for Persons with Disability, where we are trying to remove the barriers to employment and employability of persons with disability, and also making this center a centralized support system for persons with disability. As a response to COVID, we have come up with a fourth flagship program that is based on health, so that we can focus on improving the health infrastructure, which has been overstretched during the pandemic. Apart from that, various NGOs approach us for grants, and depending on our fund situation, we support them in various thematic areas. So this has been our journey for the last 5 years.
Thank you so much. It is really impressive to know about your flagship programs, which varies from youth to disability to health. And it's indeed, you are constantly innovating and taking a program in order to respond to the need of the hour. How have you considered the needs and priorities of the local community while planning your long-term CSR projects? Can you share some light on that?
See, SBI Foundation has always thought that it should make a positive change in the lives of the vulnerable and the marginalized. So we have understood that we cannot think about what is the change required in the villages, in the remote areas of India, or in the marginalized sector by sitting at our office in Mumbai.
Yeah.
So before we conceive a program, we study whether this is the change which the community requests. We have interaction with the stakeholders, we get feedback from them, and then based on the needs as mentioned by the villagers, the community, or the beneficiaries, we chalk out a program. And I feel that our programs have been successful only because we have assessed the needs of the beneficiaries appropriately.
Well, thank you so much. It was indeed actually an inspiring to know that foundation is taking care of need of the people in the villages, because most of the time what it happens is the project gets planned taking the need and the priorities of the local communities actually. So we at GRAAM also feel that the problems may be completely different and new. So unless we understand the causality of the problem, we will not be able to treat the root cause of the challenge, issues and challenges in the community. It's
yes,
very
it's a
educative
very I also agree very much with what you are told. The problems which we perceive may not be the problems or the pressing problems for the beneficiaries. So unless we understand the pressing problems of the beneficiaries from themselves and chalk out programs accordingly, it won't be successful.
What are your biggest challenges in conceptualizing, planning, and implementing CSR initiatives, and how you have resolved them? I'm asking this as many small and budding foundation or development organizations would be able to learn from your experience.
Any activity related to CSR, I feel, should have passionate people as the human resource. Because if we consider that this is just another routine job, then the desired impact may not happen. So one of the biggest challenges is getting people with passion to conceive the programs and implement. Second thing is identifying partners who can implement the program. Otherwise, the expectations which the funder is having or the foundation is having will not be happening at the ground level. So getting appropriate partners is a challenge. Third could be how we monitor and follow up the implementation of the project. Because each rupee we spend, we are accountable to so many stakeholders. Unlike the earlier times when CSR was only philanthropy, now it is strategic. The board is also very much involved in monitoring the CSR activity. The implementing agency or the NGOs, the partnering NGOs should be able to implement the project in the way it has been designed, in the way it has been desired. Also, regular level, the NGOs should be able to update the donors or the foundation about what is happening at the grassroots level. So in all these areas, there is some challenge because our NGO sector has not been technology in the way it should be. Also, most of the NGOs are not highly qualified resources to run their programs. So here, all these areas, there would be some kind of challenge. And then most of our programs, not SBI Foundation program, but I have found that most of the programs which are like submitted to us by NGOs and all, are all output based. They are not focusing on the impact. So to convince the NGOs that instead of focusing on output, we should focus on impact. Also, success should be measured by means of certain indicators instead of just generalizations. So all these are learnings which we have to impress upon the implementing agencies. And for the implementing agencies, they may think these are all bureaucratic procedures. So I find these are the challenges which we encounter while we design and implement programs.
In fact, it is indeed a true partnership, appears to me, Mr. Nixon. You are not only providing your grants to the implementing partners, in a way you are building the capacities of the non-profit organizations or your service delivery partners in this journey of CSR. That is something I would say sustainable and now will be having a long-term impact in the community those organizations operate actually. So if all foundation consider this, building the competence of their implementing partners and field partners as also should be intertwined within the CSR plan. I think this will the whole developmental the impact will last long in the community. So I'm happy to know that. Another interesting thing we would like to know about SBI Foundation is SBI Foundation actually created a goodwill among the community. Sustaining it for a long time is truly a challenge for any successful CSR foundation. What are your strategies to continue with the same pace as well as ensuring the same quality and sustain the initiatives?
It's a fact that though SBI Foundation started in 2015, we have been able to gain a lot of goodwill, mainly because of the impact of the programs which we had designed and implemented. SBI being a banker to every Indian and being the largest bank in India, the expectation from the community will also be intense. And it's a matter of pride that we have been able to rise up to the expectations of so many stakeholders within this short time. Already told, it's very challenging to sustain this goodwill. But then we have our vision, which has been laid down, which means that translates into being the most reputed CSR foundation in India, and how it can be achieved or how it can be sustained. One is having passionate people on board. As I already mentioned, CSR can be impactful only if we have passionate people on board. So when we take our team, when we build our team, we see that passionate team members come in, those who want to really make change, those who are interested in facing the challenges in the development sector are taken on board. The flagship program, which is health. And this is something which India needs very badly now. So when we are able to respond similarly to the needs of India, our goodwill will continue. Third, as I told already, whatever programs which we entertain, we see whether these are in alignment with the requirements or pressing needs of the proposed beneficiaries. And fourthly, whether the projects which we implement are sustainable, or if we exit these projects, whether there will be a stop to these projects. So sustainability is something where we focus so much. And I'm sure that if we are able to take care of the needs of the proposed beneficiaries and implement the project with as much passion, and we are able to create the impact, the desired impact, our goodwill will continue.
Thank you so much for those 4 quick points, so that all other aspiring developmental organization or established foundations can learn from your experience.